Long before garlic became a cheap supermarket bulb wrapped in plastic, it was treated as something far more valuable. In medieval Europe, garlic was medicine, protection, and food security rolled into one plant. Monasteries guarded their garlic beds with the same care they gave to their manuscripts, not because garlic was rare, but because growing it properly was difficult, slow, and deeply misunderstood. Monks were not chasing size for vanity. They needed dense, powerful bulbs that stored through winter, resisted rot, and delivered maximum medicinal strength. Garlic was used to treat infections, parasites, wounds, and exhaustion. It was given to travelers before long journeys, to soldiers before marches, and to the sick when nothing else was available. Weak garlic was useless. Strong garlic was survival. They observed that garlic grown quickly lost potency. Bulbs that swelled fast were watery, mild, and spoiled early. Bulbs that grew slowly were firm, heavy, and burned the tongue when eaten raw. Strength mattered more than appearance. What they discovered contradicts almost everything modern gardeners are told. Bigger garlic did not come from feeding more, watering more, or pushing faster growth. It came from restraint, timing, and soil preparation done months, sometimes a full year before planting. Monks understood that garlic remembers stress. How it experiences its first months determines its final form. Force it early, and it never recovers. Respect its rhythm, and it repays you with size and strength. This knowledge survived quietly behind stone walls, passed from monastery to monastery, never written as a formula, only practiced season after season in silence. One of the monks' most counterintuitive insights was the deliberate use of cold. Garlic, they noticed, needed winter, real winter, to become large. Not mild chills, but prolonged cold that halted surface growth and forced energy underground. Modern gardeners often fear winter damage. Monks welcomed it. Garlic cloves were planted late, often just before the soil froze. The goal was not growth, but root establishment without leaf emergence. During winter, the clove remained dormant above ground, while quietly building a deep, wide root system below. They noticed that cloves planted too early produced tall leaves before winter, only to be damaged by frost. This shock weakened the bulb permanently. Late-planted garlic, by contrast, stayed hidden and unharmed. This cold exposure triggered hormonal changes inside the plant. Without it, garlic splits poorly, forms small bulbs, or produces single round cloves. With it, the plant reorganizes its entire growth strategy around storage, not survival. Monks also avoided heavy mulching that insulated the soil too much. Straw was used sparingly. Snow was preferred. Snow insulated without warmth, allowing the soil to remain cold but stable. This single factor alone explains why garlic grown in warm climates or planted too early rarely reaches impressive size, no matter how much fertilizer is applied. Cold was not the enemy, it was the signal. The monks' soil preparation was almost boring in its simplicity and devastatingly effective. They never planted garlic in freshly enriched soil. Beds were prepared one season, sometimes 2 seasons in advance. Compost was aged until fully broken down. Leaf mold, not manure, was the foundation. Wood ash was added in tiny amounts, never fresh. They understood that garlic dislikes volatility. Fresh manure releases nitrogen in bursts. Garlic responds by producing leaves instead of bulbs. Leaf mold releases nutrients slowly, steadily, quietly, exactly what garlic needs. What the monks were really managing was nutrient timing, not nutrient quantity. Garlic does not want to be fed, it wants access. Access to minerals locked in soil structure, released gradually through microbial action. The soil was loose, deep, and biologically active, but low in immediately available nitrogen. Earthworms were welcomed, fungal networks were left intact. Monks noticed that garlic grown in fungal-rich soils developed thicker skins and stored longer through winter. They avoided compacting beds. No walking on garlic soil, no carts, no animals. Compaction reduced bulb size dramatically, something modern gardeners still struggle to understand. Why? Because garlic punishes excess nitrogen. It responds with lush leaves and small bulbs. Monks learned that hunger early leads to abundance later. Garlic that struggles slightly in spring invests in root expansion. When bulbing begins, those roots unlock stored nutrients slowly and steadily. They also avoided disturbance. Once planted, garlic beds were never dug again. No hoeing near the plant, no root damage. Weeds were pulled by hand, even if it took longer. The soil was treated as a living partner, not a resource to be corrected. The monks did not improve soil for garlic. They allowed soil to mature until garlic agreed to thrive in it.
Perhaps the most overlooked secret was selection. Monks never replanted the biggest clove from the biggest bulb by accident. They tracked lineage. Bulbs that performed well in storage, resisted rot, and matured evenly were favored, even if they were not the largest that year. They understood something modern seed catalogs ignore. A bulb that grows large once is not proof of good genetics. A bulb that grows reliably large year after year under the same conditions, that is the treasure. Garlic that spoiled early was never replanted. Garlic that sprouted unevenly was discarded. Garlic that showed disease, even slightly, was eaten but never saved. This ruthless selection removed weakness from the gene pool. Over decades, this created localized garlic strains perfectly adapted to their soil, climate, and planting rhythm. These strains did not exist anywhere else. A monastery's garlic was as unique as its bread or wine. Monks also avoided mixing varieties. Different garlic types compete differently for nutrients and timing. Mixing caused uneven maturation and smaller bulbs. Uniformity came from patience, not purchase. Modern gardeners often sabotage themselves by planting grocery store garlic or mixed varieties. Those bulbs are selected for shipping, appearance, and shelf life, not garden performance. The monk's garlic was stable, predictable, and powerful. Year after year, bulbs grew larger because the plant was allowed to remember, adapt, and refine itself. Size was the result of memory, not treatment.
The monk's garlic method works because it aligns with how garlic evolved. Garlic is a slow plant that rewards patience and punishes excess. Modern gardening culture does the opposite. We fertilize early, we water constantly, we chase fast growth. Garlic responds by growing leaves instead of bulbs. The monks removed choice from the plant. Cold forced dormancy. Lean soil forced root growth. Selection forced improvement. No chemicals were needed because nothing was pushed beyond balance. This method disappeared because it does not scale well. It takes time. It takes observation. It takes seasons of restraint before results explode. It cannot be bottled, branded, or sold as a shortcut. Industrial agriculture replaced memory with inputs. Garlic became uniform, mild, and fragile. Yield mattered more than resilience. Flavor was sacrificed for appearance. But when the old method works, the results are unmistakable. Bulbs dense and heavy, cloves thick and tight, flavor sharp, medicinal, alive. Garlic that smells before it is cut. This is why people who rediscover old garlic methods often think something magical happened. Nothing magical happened. The plant was simply allowed to finish its story. Garden Lore Vault exists to preserve methods like this, quiet systems that produced abundance without chemicals, without dependency, without waste. The monks did not grow garlic the size of a fist by feeding it more. They grew it by knowing when to stop. Thanks for the watching. See you later.